We need a miracle. It's very important.
You're saying that the cats rule the dogs?
Just hang them by their feet. Guess they're definitely low on the totem pole.
Hi, folks. The tour bus has already taken off without you, so you'll just have to spend the night here with Comedy Parenting Radio. It's okay. We got a little cot for you over in the corner of the studio. And this is the only show that recommends wearing expensive Italian driving shoes when playing volleyball on a sand court. We want to welcome our listeners from Italy, India, and Indiana. And don't forget that Indiana is just like Italy and India. We also want to let you know we're celebrating Warranty Throwaway Month. That's right. Dig through your files and chuck those warranties that have been expired for 15 years. We've got Christina on the line, and we're going to be talking about the pecking order. We'll be right back.
Are you a failure as a parent or grandparent? Do your little ones cry for no apparent reason?
Do you have lots of money?
If you answered yes to these or any other invasive questions, we have good news for you. Treesock Press was named after a cat.
A very cute cat.
Treesock Press printed a book. That book is available in nearly indestructible hardback form and is printed with non-toxic ink so your little dinosaur can virtually eat the book. If this all seems too good to be true, you can go buy a cheap Disney book that's printed in China. Books printed in China aren't as good for teething toddlers as ones printed in Wisconsin.
What's the name of our book?
Dad the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come. This book is funnier than a root canal on a sinking ship.
I didn't know ships had teeth.
Order your copies of Dad the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come from Amazon today. Or tomorrow if you're on the international date line.
Comedy Parenting Radio.
We need a banjo picker in the White House, someone to pick the harmony. We need a banjo picker in the White House, maybe someone here vote for me.
Can I talk with you for a few minutes about the pecking order?
Absolutely. What's the pecking order?
The pecking order at your farm, at your ranch.
Oh, with chickens.
Well, not just chickens, but you've got all kinds of animals. So tell me about the animals you have. Let's start small animals and work our way up.
Well, the smallest animal we got is a miniature rooster, and so he's about 6 inches tall.
This is not going to work very well for the pecking order if the smallest animal you have is a rooster.
No, and he doesn't know he's small. He thinks he's big. So he's actually higher on the pecking order than some of the other roosters.
Got it. So what's the next largest animal?
Next largest animal would be the normal roosters. And I have 5 of those. And then 4 hens.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have cats. And the cats do pull rank on the roosters. And the cats pull rank on the dogs.
You're saying that the cats rule the dogs?
Yes.
How so?
Well, we have one cat that rules the dogs. Cheese.
Oh, Cheese. I've met Cheese. Cheese is fearsome sometimes.
He's high on the pecking order. The cat is. One time the goats actually butted the dog because the dog chased another cat, and so the goats got mad and the goats butted the dog, and then Cheese came in and harassed the dog, and everybody let the dog know that messing with the other cat was not acceptable. Yeah, it was funny.
That's great. So you have the cat, then the goats. Are they next up on the pecking order?
Yeah.
Compared to the dogs?
Well, we're going to pretty much put the cats at the top with the goats and the dogs underneath them, except for Zipper. Zipper is the top dog, and she rules everything, including the horses.
So Zipper the dog rules the whole ranch.
She does. She does.
You're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio, talking about the pecking order, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, we know how to work and we know how to play. We're from the country and we like it that way.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Mike the Headless Chicken, a legend of the West.
Captain, I must inform you, you're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
Breast, a scientific marvel, he should have laid down dead. Why did the chicken cross the road? Why to try to find his head?
Are the horses afraid of any of the chickens or roosters?
Last night, Davy and I were out practicing our, it's called a rescue race for the rodeo. And so what happens is, Davy will be at one end of our pasture, and he'll canter the horse down to the other end, and we have a barrel set up. And I grab a hold of his arm, and he pulls me up into the saddle. We'll turn the barrel, and we'll go riding back together as fast as we can.
That sounds very romantic.
Kind of. It's very bouncy.
Oh, I was going to say, bouncy too.
Yeah. And the chickens, our miniature chicken, and the cat, and the other chicken named Fidget, we're all down there.
Were they in the grandstands?
They were right out in the middle of it all. I mean, the chicken was standing right there as I'm being pulled up into the saddle, my little miniature, and he goes right up next to the horse and is looking up at us like, can I ride too? So the horse doesn't mind, and chickens don't mind, so it works out.
And so do any of the animals surprise you on occasion and go out of their shell and become a little higher or lower on the pecking order, or are they always the same?
They are always the same.
For example, does one animal get grumpy and then go higher up in the pecking order?
Not really. You think maybe, but except for the little white rooster, I was sure he was going to be at the absolute bottom of everything. Mm-hmm. But we got another rooster. Well, we aren't sure if it's a rooster or a hen.
Yeah.
It's a crowing hen or a very strange rooster. So, anyways, and he told that chicken exactly where it needed to go and where it needed to sit and what to say.
Where do you get these strange roosters? From strangeroosters.com or what?
People actually give them to us. They say, I've got a bunch of hens and I ended up with a rooster.
What do you mean ended up with a rooster? Just out of the batch?
Yeah, like they'll order a batch of hens and one of them will accidentally be a rooster.
A little rooster slips into the hen house.
That's right. Yeah, so they'll call us or text us and say, oh, we have a rooster, and, we'll go pick him up, or he'll end up being brought to church and dropped off in a box, and then he'll end up here, so.
I can't exactly imagine a lot of our listeners out there getting a text that says, I have a rooster for you.
No. Well, like this morning, if we forget to shut up the chicken coop at night, all the roosters will come out, and we had one right next to our window in the morning, waking up, and our window is open. And then you have, 5 roosters, and they're all crowing, and it's quite the ensemble that's going on. They all have different crows. Well, 3 of them are real close, and then you have the little one that sounds absolutely ridiculous, and then the one that's just learning how to crow.
Can you give me an example of the 2 roosters? They're different crows that are not quite right.
Oh, no.
What do they sound like?
The little one, it sounds like this. He goes, and then the other one that's learning how to crow, he sounds like this.
That sort of sounds like the farmer see and say thing where you spin it and it makes a sound, and after it gets all worn down, you kind of get that sound for the rooster.
Yes, that is exactly what it sounds like.
I've heard that thing before.
I do too.
Sure, humans can be a little weird at times, but take it from me, I'm a dog. And a person is about the best thing that can happen to a shelter pet. So if you want to learn how you can be that person, get down to your local pet shelter or visit theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Comedy.
Parenting.
Radio.
People, when they get grumpy, they can kind of rise in the pecking order and get what they want. And animals apparently don't necessarily rise in the pecking order when they get grumpy, do they?
No, they can, but yeah, for the most part, there's somebody there to, put them back where they belong.
That sounds right.
Yeah, which happens to us too. I mean, you think about it. You go to your job, get grumpy at your boss, so put you right back where you need to be.
Exactly that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, how do the humans enter into the pecking order?
I don't think I could handle an animal being above myself or any of the kids. Everything's got to be below.
Well, what about when people visit? What about city slickers that show up and all of a sudden there's a goat walking around?
I try to keep the goats in the barn more, but we would have people show up a couple times, people who were coming up to check on the ditch that runs through our property, because they're checking on their waters. Anyways, I have to go running out and I have to grab the goats because the goats would try to jump up on top of their truck, like the hood of their truck. The goats just love climbing on vehicles. So guests are definitely low on the totem pole.
And so vehicles are below goats on the pecking order.
They are. Even nice, shiny, red 2009 or 10 Fords, there's...
What about the pecking order of wild animals that visit your ranch compared to the domestic animals?
Grasshopper population is at epic, biblical proportions right now.
Don't the chickens go after the grasshoppers at all?
Well, that's the funny thing. So the little one does, and the new rooster does. The other chickens, we've tried to get them to figure out that they need to go eat grasshoppers. We've, picked them all up in the morning by their legs and carried 6 or 7 chickens and 3 in each hand upside down, because when you turn a chicken upside down, it's kind of like they can't figure out where they are and they'll just hang there.
I never really knew that about chickens.
No, yeah, it's funny. Once you can get them upside down and just hang them by their feet, they'll eventually stop flapping and just kind of hang there looking around. They can't figure it out. It's kind of funny. That's
probably why you don't see them at theme parks or roller coasters very often.
No, that is the reason why you do not see chickens on a roller coaster.
So anyway, you carry the chickens over to the grasshoppers, and then what happens?
And then we put them down in the grasshoppers, and they all walk right back to the chicken over by the barn in the chicken coop. Without any grasshoppers in their mouth? That couple will pick up a couple on the way, drive by, drive through. But now, they'll all just go right back to the barn and wait for me to feed the goats or something, to pick up any goat feed. Yeah, they need to fend for themselves. They're on socialist welfare right now.
Okay, you have been listening to Comedy Parenting Radio, and we were talking about the pecking order at Christina's ranch in particular. I want to thank you for talking with us today, Christina.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. And when you hang up, why don't you just get back out there and shove a few grasshoppers in your pocket, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.